There's a lot of bad things happening in the world lately, and I try to inject positivity in the things that I talk about, and sometimes that means just covering entire things that I just want to talk about. After all, that's the whole, point of the channel and everything, right? A lot to say about many things. Um, with that in mind, I have very much I guess I would be considered kind of like an elder emo at this point. I grew up. I was born in '97, and I grew up with kind of like the bands that were getting big when I was in like middle school and then high school, well, more elementary and middle school, I guess I'd say, were bands like Fall Out Boy, Green Day, All American Rejects. I mean, Green Day was already huge, right? But like Panic at the Disco, Paramore, bands like this, and some of these bands are very much my favorite. Which is why I want to talk about how, although rock and roll has struggled throughout like all of the 2010s, I believe it's really coming back. Hey everyone, my name's Christian, and I have a lot to say about many things. I want to talk about how rock and roll is making its comeback. First thing I want to talk about here is a big part of the reason for this. Like, let's not kid ourselves. Big part of the reason, as I've touched on, like the importance of nostalgia and stuff before, a big part of the reason for this is because of nostalgia. Like I said, this is the kind of stuff that I grew up with to an extent, and it is now time for people who are in their 30s, like myself, or approaching their 30s at least, to start getting our nostalgia pandered to. So we had this thing. There have been a few of these. The When We Were Young tour. This is a tour that I kick myself frequently for not having been able to go to. This was I want to say the second When We Were Young tour. This was in 2022. Yeah, no, 23. It was 2023. And this is like pretty much all of my favorite bands together here. I mean, we have All Time Low, who is my favorite band, as I've been very, very open about, and we're gonna take a look at that in a little bit here. We have where are they? Water Parks. One of like my three favorite bands, I would say, are probably like All Time Low, Water Parks, and I would probably say Marianas Trench. Though I will say, and we'll get into this a little bit too, MGK is really moving up there as one of my favorite artists as well. But we were going to have bands like, as far as like some of my favorites. Well, we had Newfound Glory, which is for those that don't know, the band that actually inspired All Time Low's name. They had a song called Head On Collision, and the chorus says, "It feels like I'm at an all-time low." When the boys were trying to figure out what to name their band, they decided, all right, let's take that. They had other names like Playground X and Centerfold, which, as Alex says, his mom was like, yeah, absolutely not. You guys are not calling yourself Centerfold. But we had bands like Bowling for Soup. They're one of my favorites. And a lot of these bands are lit. Of course, everyone knows My Own Worst Enemy. Um, and the thing is, a lot of these bands too are artists that I know about, even if they're not like my favorites, like Less Than Jake, Yellow Card, Say Anything, Gym Class Heroes, Rise Against. A little bit harder for my liking, but Pierce the Veil definitely a bit harder. Although I did really like their work on Vic Fuentes, the lead singer of Pierce the Veil, did the chorus for, well, the backing vocals slash chorus for Love Like War, or A Love Like War by All Time Low on their record. I'm going to do this off the top of my head. I know it. I know the record. It was Don't Panic. I think specifically it was Don't Panic, It's Longer Now. I don't think A Love Like War was on the original Don't Panic. I'm not entirely sure, though. But 5 Seconds of Summer, who were influenced very much by All Time Low. The Offspring is amazing, of course. 30 Seconds to Mars. Really don't like Jared Leto as a person and stuff, but I like some of 30 Seconds to Mars music, so, and again, and it was headed by Green Day and Blink-182. Specifically, they played the main stage. It was Blink, and then right after Blink, Green Day officially closed out the night. This would have been an amazing, experience, but it was in Vegas, and I was trying to get to go with some of my friends, but we just couldn't make it work, couldn't make finances work, couldn't make schedules work, and it just kind of fell through, and it sucked. But I just want to, point that out because, well, there's a few things. One, we're going to get into how Warped Tour actually kicked off again, but we're going to kind of go in order of events here, if you will. So, there have been a lot of garage bands and stuff popping up on TikTok and Instagram and things like that. Again, I was in high school throughout the 2010s, so no one wanted to form a rock band, which really sucked for me because I would have fucking loved to have a fucking rock band, but no one wanted to do a rock band. Everyone wanted to be SoundCloud rappers and all these other, so I had to do this stuff on my own, and I tried, but it didn't work. So I never got to have that experience, which, God, I would have loved to. Maybe I could have been like Water Parks or a band we're going to look at in a minute here. There's a new band that has been forming called The Paradox. These guys apparently, basically, Billie Joe Armstrong of Green Day, saw one of their, saw them perform, saw something of them, and were I love these guys. To the teacher who said we'd never make it out of town, the boss who said we'd be stuck working on minimum wage, and our exes who treated us like we weren't good enough for them. We hope you get the message. Yeah, Get the Message is an incredibly good song. I'm not going to play it for copyright reasons, but they've been doing this thing. So these guys, this is a thing too. Pop punk and alt rock and stuff has kind of had this thing where it's kind of been known as very much a boys club and very much a white boys club specifically. And that has been true in a lot of cases, but when you look at bands like The Paradox, they're all black dudes, and they are awesome. They're also, I wouldn't go so far as to say they're one of my favorite bands because they only have 5 songs out now, but they are incredible. I'm really liking their new music, and it's the first time that I'm really following an artist from pretty much from their beginning. And they're just about to put out an EP called NSFW, but they've been putting out new songs and stuff, and it's great. And one of the things I wanted to point out here, people have mentioned about how the All American Rejects are they're doing house parties again, which is awesome. But I want to point out I don't know if this is copywritten music, so bear with me here.
Lonely, bro. So if you're lonely, I'm here waiting for you. I'm just a crosshair. I'm just a shot away from you. And
yeah, I mean, teens are starting garage bands again. Nature is healing. No, this is fucking amazing. I don't know. I don't know, Matt. This can't be. This is live. This can't be copyrighted.
Don't leave me broken, shattered, alive. I'm just a crosshair. I'm just a star waiting to die.
Bro, I would have loved to be like these guys in high school, or this kid, and this is one who he did it all on his own. Check this out. Oh, is he playing Damn It by Blink-182? That's what it sounds like. Yeah, this is Damn It. Oh. And it looks like the people are the kids in the background are like fucking digging it too. This is like, I can't like explain this. We're not gonna watch the whole thing. I have another example of this concept here, but like there was this kid who rocked out.
Clayton Fisher.
Yeah, this right here, rocking out American Idiot, and you know, I really can't explain. Check this out.
What is up, Westbury?
Terrible mic quality. Love this audio.
Don't wanna be an American idiot. Don't want a nation under the new media. Hey, can you hear the sounds of hysteria? Now everybody do the propaganda. Looking for a new kind of attention. All across the alien nation. Everything is meant to be okay. Television dreams of tomorrow. We're not the ones who meant to follow. For life enough to argue.
So, look, I know he's not great. I know he like needs work on a lot of different things, but like this was like me when I was this kid's age. Like, but the fact that he's, you know, he's doing this for a talent show and everything. The fact that we have someone this young doing this, someone from like a Gen Z, I guess he'd be Gen Alpha probably, a kid doing this, it fills my heart with so much joy. Like my point is just that like people are still interested in caring about rock and roll, and it's coming back and it's fucking great. Is this the video where they do it? Like the Paradox really leans into this. No, okay. This isn't the one. I don't remember if I saw it on TikTok or where it was, but like it was cool. Oh, we'll get to that in a second. Basically they were like, yeah, we're Black 182. I'm Travis Dicklong. This is Travis, or no, sorry, Tom Dicklong. This is Travis Darker. Like, because people have been saying that they're like a Black Blink 182 because they don't know any other pop punk band. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. However, they do have like the one guy, like both of them kind of, two guys trade off singing and stuff. So that's very Blink 182. It's also very Beatles and stuff. So, you know, take that as you will. But yeah, we'll get to the rest of this here. But this was really cool to me as well. And this is awesome. Check this out. So we got these kids playing, right? So, you know, you see we have the the lead singer of All American Rejects. I don't know his name off the top of my head. I think it's like Tyler or something. We have him come out to like support the band, and watch this. Where is it? I'm waiting. Where's the... Okay, I thought there was like a bit where he like pointed to the kids or whatever, but the point is like, yes, he's here and he's like doing his thing, but he's making it about the kids. It's like, this is a great example of passing the torch, which is an incredibly important thing that I am seeing a lot of these people doing, which it's very good. It's very good. Here's another example of something like that. Green Day has done this. I hope. Yes. Okay. Green Day has done this for a long time. Where, check this out. Oh wait, no, she's just gonna stage dive. Oh, she's stage diving. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. No, I mean that's cool, but that's not what I'm looking for. Shit, I don't know. Okay. I thought there was something I saved where they like, so Green Day has been doing this thing for a while where they will bring like someone from the audience up on stage and they will be like, "Hey, do you want to like fucking play with us?" And they do, and someone will play or they'll sing or whatever it is, and it's awesome. And it's like obviously it's definitely like making that person's like night or whatever it is to be able to play like Basket Case or like American Idiot or I don't know, Warning, or whatever it is that they're like playing, Macy's Day Parade, maybe, I don't know, whatever it is they want to play, um, you know, and Green Day has been really good about doing that in general, which is a really just incredible thing that they've done. And again, I think they've been very good about passing the torch and really making it about these people who are fans that are trying to like make their own thing. Because these guys, for one, they understand they're not going to be around forever, but also like they got to where they are by other people seeing potential in them and bringing them up, as it were. So on that note, I mentioned Warped Tour. So now they did this with water parks as well, but All Time Low is taking Paradox on tour with them, and they played. See, I don't want to have this too loud. And I know there are people who will hear this kind of music as well and think like, oh, it all sounds the same. It's all just like whiny boys, singing about, I don't know, girls or how their life's so terrible or whatever. Like, I get that. I understand that mentality that a lot of like pop punk and like rock and all that stuff have. It's not entirely misplaced, but like ultimately rock and like emo and pop punk or whatever is like more about, I would say, like just expressing yourself, just being yourself and getting to express your emotions and how you feel about things and just everything. And it's awesome, and these guys are awesome. And um and I'm gonna try my best not to sing along into these songs but I wanted to see where they like introduce themselves. Oh, Get the Message, such a good fucking song. I almost started. You saw. The chapters are not right for these at all, by the way. Girl Like You is called, I want to say it's Imani. It is Get the Message. Cross the Line, what is this? It's not Do Me Like That, so I'm not sure what that one is. This one I believe is this the one about his teacher? Is this Miss? Well, they'll introduce it, right? Yeah, it is. It's God, I can't remember what it's called. Miss. Oh, Miss Lauren. That's what it's called. Yeah, with Do Me. Dude, this one's correct. Do Me Like That. The Rock Show. They. So this is one of the things, right? They also got um, they got Travis Barker on stage, who is a big part of why I believe rock is coming back. And we'll get to another big reason pretty soon here. But you know, here we have this legend supporting these up and coming performers, and he even played with them on one of their latest songs called Bender. It's not, and but I mean, you can see like these guys are performing, they're having a good time, all this stuff, right? Um, you can see the beginning stages of like, here is a band that is really going to like be good for the scene and just be good fucking artists. Like these guys are gonna fucking kill it, and you need to have people from previous generations who are already successful making it to like lift these guys up. And now we get to see things like so we have, again, if you thought it was hard to not sing along with Paradox's music, these next two artists, especially All Time Low, is going to be very difficult because I know all their songs like within a second of hearing the first note and shit. But I wanted to point out, so they're putting out a new record called oh fuck, what is it called? Oh, Everybody's Talking. Not a big fan of the artwork of the record. If you know, you know. They look like the fucking Wiggles or something, which I think is kind of the point. I think it's supposed to be like kind of subversive or whatever. But I wanted to point out they have, and they had them like at the beginning too, before they even came out on stage. But I wanted to point out, here, let's use this as an excuse to listen to music a little bit. Oh, I think they opened with Sucker Punch, right? Yeah, they did. But I wanted to point out, like, here they have like color guard and a marching band. So they're supporting like this is some DC college marching band and color guard, which members of the marching band and color guard were like, "This is a dream come true. This is awesome." We see a little bit of like positive LGBTQ representation with the people and their flags and stuff, which is awesome. We're seeing a lot of good stuff like that. They later, so for some songs, they'd have them out here. Sucker Punch is a great song, which, I mean, every song really by Ultima Low, I'll probably tell you is a great song, unless it's like Stick Stones and Techno. Nobody likes that song. I apologize for the squeaking chair, by the way. I didn't realize it until I started recording. So we're just going to deal with it now. But they had, so then here okay, so here they're playing Weightless, and they had cheerleaders. So you're having like, why does it do this? I'm trying to turn down the volume. So we have this like, we have the, sorry, I can't concentrate, I want to sing along. We have this thing where like, they're supporting and giving representation to like, in this case, the again, the marching band and color guard, and they're like giving these, these people are getting a chance to perform on stage with this band in front of all these people, and then same for the cheerleaders, and just all these different things, and it's incredible. And these guys being able to play to be playing, not just playing Warped Tour. They've played Warped Tour, like, pretty much, that's how they, like, came up and everything. But not only playing Warped Tour, but almost headlining it. There's one person that came right after them that officially headlined it. And oh yeah, all time they've been getting like Teddy's. They got Teddy Swims on one of their songs from their last record, New Religion. That was good. You know, you had all these different things. I hope Amazon Music doesn't copyright me, because technically this is like on Amazon Music and streamed, but
of absolutely fucking everybody out there. Fear, you are welcome here.
this is really good.
We also wanted to make sure that this was a celebration of absolutely fucking everybody out there.
It's one of the things I really respect about, like, Alex especially. Billy Joe and, like, other artists do this kind of thing too, but just how good they are at, like, encouraging and stuff to the crowd. This is 100,000% what I wanted to do with my life. Like, this is what I want to, man, like, you know, I'm trying to, like, make this work now for my life, and I can definitely find a lot of, you know, what do you call it, like, fulfillment and stuff doing this. But, like, what this is what I like. Yeah.
You are safe here. You are welcome here.
And the fun, by the way, when they did this was the day that Trump was having his birthday / whatever for the military thing.
Make some noise for all of yourselves, each and every one.
Alex specifically, by the way, has been very... actually, it was a tweet from Alex and how he was reacting to the possibility of Trump becoming president that made me start to first initially question my more center-right leanings and be like, wait a minute, why is he so against him? You know, because, like, I didn't get it back in 2016. Alex has always been especially pretty progressive and pretty good about stuff. There was a point where they... Actually, let me see if I can find it real quick here. All right, I found it. This is... Well, you'll see. Ultimately responding to anti-gay protest. Alex, like I said, has always been pretty based. And this is something he said years ago.
So, before we start this next song, I do want to say something inside a public forum. And it's going to be short, simple, and that's all I'm going to say about it. Ever. A certain church group is outside our show today picketing. I'm not going to mention their name because I really don't want anyone who doesn't already know about them to know about them, because it's frankly not worth your time. However, they happen to be a bunch of bigots and a bunch of intolerant assholes. If you know who they are, then you know what I'm talking about. And I think people should be able to love whoever the fuck they want to love. And no matter what you believe, I do love you. And no matter what you believe, you should be allowed to live your life the way you want to live it. That's all I'm going to say about it. This song is an old song. It goes out to you guys.
And then they play JC Ray, which is an incredible song. But again, incredibly biased. Like, literally my favorite band. Anyway, no, but that message, that point, bring, like, just to be able to speak on that, and to, again, in this case, like, they have the LGBTQ representation with the color guard and all these different things. Like, it's incredible. Oh my, they did a song as well, I forgot about this, where earlier, you know, we mentioned The Paradox before, and they did a song called PMA a couple years ago with an artist called Pale Waves, I want to say their name is, and Here we go. Paradox. So again, we're seeing that like passing of the torch and everything, like I was talking about, and this stuff is just so important. And I know I've talked before about how like they got in some hot water with some allegations, which seems to have been basically disproven and dropped from what I've seen. But I really like All Time Low. Really appreciate them. They're very much my favorite band, and they just seem like incredible people. Again, especially Alex. But all of this said, seeing them like basically closing out the show, as Alex even said, like basically it's crazy. They're closing out the show with another person who I think has very much brought rock and roll back into the mainstream, and that is Machine Gun Kelly, or as he's now just going by, MGK. There was this thing where it was said for a while that essentially he basically, like, oh, Eminem like ran him out of rap and like now he's doing rock music and stuff like that. But first of all, even if that's the case, thank you, Eminem, because you gave us our... I said this to a friend a while ago and they were like, that's like a wild claim. But I would say basically the savior of rock, because I can't... For those that don't know, like, rock and roll has been struggling for so long, for the past like decade or so, and it's now finally like he put out 2 records that hit #1 on the Billboard Top 100. No rock artist was doing that, especially not bands even like Green Day, Blink, All Time Low, Bowling for Soup, Sum 41, Paramore. None of these bands were doing that, and now we have this guy who like has always had this rock influence in his music. He's just fucking killing it with like this mix of rock and rap and the connections he has in the industry and the clout he already had and just so many different things. He's an incredible performer. Like, he's killing it. I can't... This is Maybe, which featured Kellen Quinn of Sleeping with Sirens. And I've talked about it before, but like MGK's newest record, Lost Americana, is also incredible. And I mean, I can't... Again, for those that don't know, like, this is a big fucking deal. Warped Tour went away in 2016 because of... Or was it... I want to say it was 2016, which All Time Low got to like perform the last show too. But because rock had been struggling for so long that it's basically, oh, it's not really like popular anymore, right? And then here comes this guy, fucking... I'm sorry, I really think that like, because the stage production, the value, the energy, just everything that he has, he's fucking killing it. And for those that say like, oh, he ran to like rap music or rock music or whatever, I've also heard some speculation that basically he ran from, not really like because of Eminem, but because he didn't want to be involved with anything that Diddy was doing, because he was signed to Bad Boy Records, which Diddy was a part of. And now that we know everything that's come out about Diddy, it's not like people that were part of Bad Boy Records or Interscope Records, which he also very much had his hands in. And Interscope has been like infamously bad to their artists, including 30 Seconds to Mars and All Time Low. They were signed with Interscope for some time, and 30 Seconds to Mars has a whole documentary on how bad that experience was. All Time Low has always just said basically like, yeah, like they kind of just pushed us in directions we didn't want to go and stuff like that. And it's like, look, I get you guys are trying to save face, but yeah, like Interscope and like all that, like yeah, it's not been it's not been great. But no, I mean like just like this guy's stage presence and everything, like he is bringing this stuff back. Like he really is. Um and I it's incredible. I understand like not everybody likes him, not everybody likes his music, not everybody likes this music in general, right? But like you can't deny this guy has incredible stage presence. What's this? Oh, this is give me a minute. I know what this song is. Is it Drunk Face? No. Drunk Face is because a lot of his songs don't like use the title in the lyrics. Blink 182 did that a lot too. It still does to an extent, but not as much as they used to in the beginning. I know what this song is. Oh, this is Jawbreaker. This is Jawbreaker. Again, you can try not to sing along, but man, do I want to. But Mom's against Enos. Okay, that's a. By the way, that's one of the cool things that has always been really fun about like emo, alt rock, pop punk, whatever you want to call it. Is it's been very like tongue in cheek, self aware about different things. Very like, oh, we're gonna use like a goofy name for like a tour or whatever it is, but like or like even a song sometimes, but this is actually some pretty serious subject matter or what have you, and just kind of have fun with different shit. And I really think a lot of this stuff is just about like being like authentic and being fun and just having good time and trying to like spread positivity and stuff in the world, even if you are like singing about like some pretty sad shit or whatever. But I mean, like look at the crowd, look at how people are like reacting to this stuff, like. This is just this is incredible. This is absolutely incredible. And MGK has a great line at the end here because he knows like not everybody loves him, right? And he has this great line here, which I think is such an important, incredible thing to live by for all of us. Oh, but by the way, like he's still doing like rap music and stuff too. Like for one, a lot of his like rock songs still incorporate rap in them. A lot of his like older rap songs incorporated rock in them, very much like Linkin Park and stuff. And also, he's just doing a lot of just yeah stuff like that.
Anyway, dude, Warped Tour. It's fucking MGK year, dude. 2025, Lost Americana, the album, August 8th. We're back to our roots, man. We're just fucking having fun. Fuck the industry. We go where we're celebrated, not tolerated. You know what I mean?
Good message.
And hey, to that sign that says you're not even pop punk, don't ever forget. You don't even live, bro. All of my
That was a callback to back and forth they had earlier in the show.
fans out there, you're the most important thing I got. In this game, you are the most important thing I got because you never switch up on me and you make sure that all the motherfuckers around you who are too scared to like what they may think other people will judge them for, you just fucking hold your ground and you like what you like, and I love it. And if you came here today and you don't like me, but now you kind of like me, I appreciate that too. Thank you so fucking much, and if you don't like me, I still love you. Bye.
I love that message. If you don't like me, I still love you. That is such a good, powerful, important message. And I just, like, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, part of the reason I wanted to talk about this is because, like, I wanted to just gush over some of my favorite artists and the fact that rock is becoming mainstream again. But, like, I think it shows, I think it's an example of, like, for one, how important it is to, like, pass on the torch. And I think it also shows how, for one, like, everything's cyclical, right? but also it shows how, like, you know, I think the reason that a lot of these bands were struggling is because they just, the reason rock in general was struggling was because, like, for the most part, they didn't really have, like, the production value. They didn't really have the clout. They didn't have these things that, like, MGK, for example, has, and that bands like All Time Low are now getting, and that they're getting to put on bands like The Paradox, and like I said, they took on Water Parks for a minute and stuff like that. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's really beautiful. It's one of the things that, like, fills me personally with, like, a lot of like hope for the future, and a lot of like, because one thing that I want to, I guess, kind of touch on with this, though, is, like, it's very easy if you are into this kind of music, or you identify as, like, different or alternative or emo or whatever. It's very easy to, like, become jaded and think that, like, your tastes or whatever are more valid than other people's. Think, oh, I'm too good for, like, pop music or whatever. That's kind of how I felt when I was, like, in that, like, range. One thing I didn't know was that a lot of these guys listen to, like, pop music and stuff. And that, like, having that mentality that, like, because it really comes from hurt, right? If you have that mentality where, like, the people that you're hurt by essentially are, you don't want to associate with things that they like, and you want to, like, close yourself off in your own stuff. I get that, but I would strongly recommend not doing that. And I think that, I don't know, this is just, like, a really beautiful thing to me. Oh yeah, there was another, like, example I wanted to use about, like, an up and coming band. Now, from what I've been hearing, people are not loving these guys. I thought they were pretty cool when I first saw them, but there's also this band. Come on.
Are you all paying attention to what is happening in Los Angeles right now? No human is illegal. Fuck ICE.
There's a band called TX2 that I thought seemed really cool and, like, just good artists and really progressive and shit. And I think, like, they have some really good fucking songs that are about, like, kind of, fighting back against the people who are trying to, like, erase trans people or immigrants in this case, or what have you. There are some stuff that I've seen from good shit. There's some stuff that I don't love about this dude. Like, he kind of plays on this, like, oh, I'm gonna, like, steal your girl kind of thing, and, like, holds hands, gets a bit too close with, like, people in the crowd and stuff, and I don't really like that. But yeah, like, that's yeah, like, this is good shit. This is just, like, we're seeing a new wave, I feel, of what's this? Fan wanted to come on stage. Oh, this is cool too. I hate that I can't pull any of these up in a new tab, so I have to keep going back. But, like, I've seen people shitting on this guy because he has this song where he's like, I'm a 5'4", something that slits his wrist. Because how does the song? It's like, I'm a fuck boy something. Yeah, the kind your mama warned about when you were a kid. I don't remember how it goes, but, like, I'm a 5'4". I gotta find it. I don't know, man. I love this shit. Like, I know people will be like, oh, this is cringe or whatever, but like, I'm sorry, just fucking. That's not what I want. Where's the one where they like? Is it not on here? Oh, no. One of the ones that I saw a while ago. I don't know how far back it is in my likes. No, I think it was probably no, because there was a moment where I was like liking a ton of their stuff. No, was this it? No. Hang on a minute. Was it this maybe? It was this thing where people were like, "Oh, you like are so gay or whatever." Oh, is this it? No, I hate TikTok. I really. Why can't I just open something in a new tab and come back to it? Like, why do I have to? Why does it have to be this way? No. Could it be this maybe? I'm sorry. This is like good shit. This is like I can't find it. Let me just find the fucking like. Oh yeah. This. Like I'm sorry. Like you can say this is cringe or whatever, and I know like with the whole current like Ronnie Radke versus Anthony Fantano thing, like people are kind of like, oh, this is like cringe. This is like whatever. This is how these people are. But like, I fucking love this shit. I just I love like this kind of vibe. This kind of part of the reason that I was gone for so long, by the way, was because I had to take a bit of a sabbatical because I fucked up my knee in a mosh pit at this thing called Emo Night, and that was not good. I twisted it, and it wasn't even. It was like the way that I landed, or not land, like when we were like moshing, like the way that I like kind of like got pushed, got hit. I like kind of stomped my foot and like twisted my left knee, and it was bad. I was like down for the count for the rest of the night, and it was not a good time. And then I had to just like basically rest it for 2-3 weeks straight, and but I'm back. So that's not yeah. So yeah, but anyway, I don't know. My point is just I don't know, man. I love this shit. And I don't want to just like keep going on about this, but like I think there's something really like good and inspiring seeing like these groups that have like come before for one thing really pass on the torch. I think stuff like that is very important, and I think it's just really cool for me personally. It's just really cool to see like my favorite type of music getting like mainstream recognition now, and seeing people that have basically to an extent kind of been made fun of for liking this stuff being more kind of like appreciated and like, yeah, I get it, and like, yeah, this is sick, or like at least a mentality of like just enjoy what you enjoy kind of thing, right? um but yeah, I don't know, I think it's really cool. I think a lot of these people are just being like authentically unapologetically themselves, and are kind of like leading this movement for people to do that, and to just be themselves, and to love each other, and to just put positivity in the world. And I think it's really beautiful. So I don't know. I could keep going on and on, but I'm really glad that rock music is like coming into the mainstream again. I really do think MGK is like the main reason for that, him and Travis Barker. But regardless, I'm just glad that these guys are fucking killing it. I'm glad that a lot of bands like All Time Low is a good example, have never really stopped making music. I think that's awesome, and I think there's also something to be said about that, and like the importance of like consistency and just continuously going, and like you will keep gaining traction, and eventually like you could get fucking huge. And I don't know, in my case, you know, on a very personal note, maybe that didn't get to happen for me with music, but maybe it can happen with this kind of thing. I don't know. I just, you know, I wanted to talk about this because it was really important to me. I wanted to share this with you guys. But something that I want to make really clear here is that, you know, I touched on in the beginning the fact that rock music and the scene and all that was kind of seen very much in a lot of ways, and it was kind of a boys' club, and specifically a, you know, white boys' club, if you will. I think a big part of the reason rock struggled for so long was because people in the scene kind of gatekept it. There was this understanding that, you know, rock wasn't really for or about like minorities and stuff like that, which was very far from the truth, especially if you look at like the roots of rock, like originally from like blues, Motown, jazz, stuff like that, black people music, if you will. You know, music that was created by black people, and in some instances even like slaves and stuff, going way, way back. But in the last like 20 years or so, rock has been very heavily associated with white people or white people music or all these different things, which is crazy when you think about it. But I think the fact that we are now at a place where we are seeing, you know, we're seeing people of color, and we're seeing women, and we're seeing, you know, we're seeing trans people. There's this great artist, No Offense, that is, he does like, he speaks on like trans issues and stuff on YouTube and stuff, but he's an incredibly like great artist in this scene, and like all these different people. I think the fact that we're at a point where we're embracing all of the different types of people that are into or wanting to make music in the scene and all that stuff is, you know, I know it sounds cliche, but well, there's a reference to an MGK song unintentionally, but it's the diversity is the strength. What will make this mainstream, what will save rock and roll, I said before with MGK, but it's not really him. It's more so kind of what he represents and what he's bringing to the table, which is this vast array of different people who weren't really into this stuff before that are now, and it, you know, he introduced me more into like, you know, different like hip hop music and stuff, because it wasn't something that I was into at all. But, you know, we're seeing like the Water Parks is doing this too, with kind of breaking down, you know, genres and stuff, and they're kind of more like, they're kind of, you know, pop punk, but they're also kind of like hyper pop, and they have like some hip hop like elements to their music, and like just all kind of different things. And we're seeing this like these walls and this like gatekeeping stuff really kind of come down, and we're seeing this celebration of and appreciation of different people that just want to make music and have a good time. And what is more rock and roll than any of that? So again, I think it's incredibly inspiring. It's very beautiful, and for me, it's something that gives me hope that, for one, my favorite like genre and subgenre of music is like becoming more mainstream, but also it's so beautiful just seeing people from all sorts of walks of life and stuff coming together to just make something that they feel passionate about, and find other people who share in their ideals, their struggles, their just these life experiences, and it's just really beautiful. As always, these are just my thoughts. Let me know what yours are in the comments down below. Follow me on social media for more. Subscribe and ring the bell to stay up to date. Leave a like if you like, and if not, I hope you find something to do like. Later, guys. Peace and love.